Welcome to Community UU Church Online. I'm Sarah Reiling, one of the worship associates. We are glad that you're with us today. Whether you're a member, a new or longtime visitor, or you just found this video on YouTube, may you find connection with us and food for your mind and spirit. Today is our annual Ingathering and Water Communion service. Water is an integral part of many spiritual traditions. Holy water, baptism, Jewish ritual baths, and the Islamic practice of washing before prayer are just a few examples of the importance of water in our spiritual life. Today we will take part in a UU water ritual that welcomes us back to our community after the summer months. Come, let us share the spirit of water together.
As drops of rain that find each other and build to become a track, a rivulet, a stream, a river, a sea, so are we drawn together. So are we fortunate to find each other. So are we bound together on this shared passage toward an unknown ocean and eternity. Come, let us lift up that which is worthy. Let us come together as we do each Sunday, but today let us take this special set-aside time to welcome one another back into the circle of compassion, love, and communion indeed. I'm Pastor Chris Cervantes. Welcome to worship at Community UU Church.
We light this chalice as a symbol of reunion. We reunite to share the flow of our hearts with one another. We gather together in ritual to celebrate our fountains of joy, to hold each other through storms of grief, to guide one another through rapids of transformation, to rest together on ponds of stillness. Together we honor the spirit of water in its many forms and its life-giving essence. This church, like all Unitarian Universalist churches, is not bound by a creed. We are not required to make an affirmation of faith or belief. Instead, Unitarian Universalism is a covenantal religion, and each church develops its own covenant. Our covenant is about the ways we promise to be in relationship with each other and the wider community. We recommit ourselves to these promises each time we recite this church's covenant. Please join me as once again we say these words together. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in freedom, and to help one another.
That young girl dressed in red, wade in the water. Oh, must be the children that Moses led. Yeah, God's gonna trouble the water. Why don't you wade in the water? Wade in the water, children, wade. the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water. Children, wade in the water. Yeah, God's gonna trouble the water. I say that God's gonna trouble the water.
Oh, God's gonna trouble the water.
Each year, as we gather in the fall, it's our custom to offer water as a symbol of our connection, one to the other. During the ritual, we will offer 4 times to share the water. We'll say more about that in a moment. In this way, we connect not only to the water's origin, but to its meaning to us, what it symbolizes in our own lives. First, we will have a chance to share water that reminds us that while some have abundance, others struggle in scarcity. Second, we will share water that symbolizes travel, movement, and change. Third, we will share water that reminds us of life's storms, our concerns, worries, frustrations, and losses. And finally, we'll share water that reminds us of the well springs of our lives, those things that bring us joy and kindle the spark that keeps us living in this wonderful world. Please don't worry about which time for sharing is the right time. One wonderful thing about symbols is how there are as many interpretations as there are minds and hearts in the world. And since we're sharing our waters virtually this year, the images and symbols we choose to imagine as we pour our waters out can be personal and directly meaningful for each of us. Some of you at home may wish to physically mime the act of pouring your water into a shared vessel. Others may not. There's no wrong way to partake in this gift of communion. I invite you to connect this ritual with your own roots and wings, holding close or setting free, as our hymn Spirit of Life reminds us. You may participate at each point or at none.
This container, empty of water, reminds us of all who lack access to safe and affordable water, and to those who are threatened by water contamination. I dedicate this first water, which was saved from past water communions, as a symbol of our solidarity to all those in the world who call out for the human right to water. I dedicate this water to every form of scarcity in our lives, in the lives of our neighbors. Scarcity of safety, health care, shelter, dignity, and love. If you would like to share water representing an awareness of scarcity in our community or our lives, please do so at this time, holding the most vulnerable in our hearts and considering the places in our own lives where scarcity leaves us thirsty.
I came to you one rainless August night. You taught me how to live without the rain. You are thirst, and thirst is all I know. You are sand, wind, sun, and burning sky, the hottest blue. You blow a breeze and brand your breath into my mouth. You reach, then bend your force to break, blow, burn, and make me new. You wrap your name tight around my ribs and keep me warm. I was born for you. Above, below, by you surrounded. I wake to you at dawn. Never break your knot. Reach, rise, blow. Sálvame, mi Dios. Trágame, mi tierra. Salva, traga. Break me, I am bread. I will be the water for your thirst.
Water is the great shape changer. It changes its shape to fit its container, whether that be river or glass or the great basins and landscapes of the sea. But it also changes its containers, wearing down mountains to sand as fine as powder, carving out canyons that plunge into the earth, dictating where its worshipers may live or may not. Just as water changes and is changed over time, so are we. You are invited now to share the water that reminds you of the changes and transformations in your lives, your journeys, whether spiritual or physical.
Every time I feel this way, this old familiar saying, King, I will lay my troubles down by the water, where the river will never run dry. Hallelujah. I'm gonna let myself be lifted. Hallelujah. I'm gonna let myself be lifted. Hallelujah. I'm gonna let myself be lifted. By and by I will lay my troubles down by the water, where the river will never run dry. It's been said, and I do believe, as you ask, so shall you receive. So take from me these troubles, bring me sweet release, where the river will never run dry. Hallelujah. I'm gonna let myself be lifted. Hallelujah. I'm gonna let myself be lifted. Hallelujah. I'm gonna let myself be lifted. By and by I will lay my troubles down by the water, where the river will never run dry. There is a river in this heart of hearts, with a knowingness of my highest good. I am willing, I will do my part, where the river will never run dry. Hallelujah. I'm gonna let myself be lifted. Hallelujah. I'm gonna let myself be lifted. Hallelujah. I'm gonna let myself be lifted. By and by I will lay my troubles down by the water, where the river will never run dry. never run dry. This river will never run dry.
As we have seen, water is intimately tied up not only to the life of the world, but to its deaths. Water is powerful, endless, and all-encompassing in its raging when it rages. Now it is time to share water, symbolizing the storms in our lives, the concerns and sorrows, confusion and frustrations. Allow this vessel to be one of receiving and healing as it absorbs your storm. After the reading, you are invited to share your joys and sorrows in the chat for the service.
When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go down and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things, who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars, waiting with their light. For a time, I rest in the grace of the world and am free. As we conclude our water communion, I invite you to bring water that reminds you of the well springs of your life, the water that sustains you when you are feeling empty, the joys that give you hope and buoy you up.
I say it touches us, that our blood is seawater and our tears are salt, that the seed of our bodies is scarcely different from the same cells in a seaweed, and that the stuff of our bones is like the coral. I say the tide rolls in on us, whether we like it or not, and the sands of time do keep running their intended course. I say we have to go down into the wave's trough to find ourselves, and then ride her swell until we can see beyond ourselves into our neighbor's eye. I say that we shall never leave the harbor if we do not hoist the sail. I say that we have got to walk the waves as well as solid ground. I say that anyone who goes without consciousness of this will remain chained to a rusty anchor. May the journey find us all worthy. Amen. This water is sacred. It is made sacred by the many hands that have poured it out with intention and love, the many stories that each drop contains, the many lives surrounding it in this unique moment, connected by commitment and faith. This water is sacred. May it continue to flow through this community with shining reflections of the unique gifts that flow through each of its members.
This water is sacred. May it continue to nurture this community with sustaining hope that we journey together through ripples of growth and change.
This water is sacred. May it continue to bless this community with loving reminders of our collective responsibility to one another and the world.
This water is sacred. May its ripples be a reminder that bring movement and transformation to the world beyond our doors. This water
is sacred. May its blessing offer grace to our community and the willingness to forgive ourselves and one another when we make mistakes.
This water is sacred. In moments when we are confused or uncertain, may it bring us clarity of purpose and commitment.
This water is sacred. In moments when the reservoirs of hearts and spirits are drained by sorrow or pain or exhaustion, may this water nourish them with the knowledge that we are each and all surrounded by a deep and abundant love. This water is sacred.
Knowing dream is like a river, ever changing as it flows, and the dreamer's just a vessel that must follow where it goes, trying to learn from what's behind you, never knowing what's in store, makes each day a constant battle just to stay between the shore. I will sail my vessel on till the river runs dry. like a bird upon the wind. These waters are my sky, I'll never reach my destination if I never try. So I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. Many times we stand aside, let the water slip away. Do what we put off till tomorrow, it is now come today. So don't you sit upon the shoreline and say you're satisfied. Choose to chance the rapids and dare to dance that time. I will sail my vessel, sing it with us, till the river runs dry. Like a bird upon the wind, these waters are my sky. I'll never reach my destination, no, if I never try. So I will sail my vessel until the river runs dry. There's bound to be rough waters, and I know I'll take some balls. With the good Lord as my captain, I can make it through them all. And I will sail my vessel, here we go, till the river runs dry. Like a bird upon the wind, these waters are my sky. I'll never reach my destination if I never try. So I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. Lord, I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry.
Our wish at Community UU Church is to cultivate a spirit of gratitude and generosity in all things. As we are grateful for the many gifts we have been given, the natural outwelling of this gratitude is generosity. May you know the grace of gratitude and the generosity of spirit that giving brings. If you wish to support Community UU and its ministries by your giving, you can mail a check to our church building. The address is on our church webpage, communityuuchurch.org. Or you can go to the webpage and click on the blue Donate Now button to donate by credit or debit card. Thank you for your generous gifts. Our time together today is ending, and as is our custom, we will extinguish our chalice. Please say the words together with me. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
It starts with a drop, then a trickle, a burble, a rush of water bubbling toward its destination, and finally the wide, endless sea. All rivers run to the sea. Today, you brought water, poured it into a common bowl with heart and mind and intention. And though our experiences have differed, Our waters, these waters, mingle, signifying our common humanity. Today, you came and shared in this sacred community. May you depart this holy space, hearts filled with hope for new beginnings, a fresh start. Go forth, but return to this community, where rivers of tears may be shed, where dry souls are watered, where your joy bubbles up, where your life cup overfloweth, where deep in your spirit you have found in this place and this shared community a home. All rivers run to the sea. Be blessed, and remember that just as the water moves from drop to river to sea to drop again, so we can always come back to the safety, love, and support of this community. Go in peace and walk on water